much for being here today because I have another exciting video. This is one of my very own stamp sets called Build a Bouquet. Now this is in collaboration with the beautiful Joggles. It is a wonderful paper crafting, just everything you could wish for store. And this is some of the samples that I have created from my Build a Bouquet stamp set. Now this stamp set is 6 by 4 inches and it is jam-packed with images. So I will say that I have used, this is another of my stamp sets called Foliage Foundations, and I have used this vase from here to create the base for some of these Build a Bouquet elements. So this is obviously going to be a really easy and quick way if you've got the vase, or you can draw your own, or you might already have one. Here is another one, again, some of those beautiful easy elements. These cards are quick and easy to make, but I want to make some cards with you today. I also want to show you how versatile these stamp sets are going to be for you and what you are able to do with them, how I designed them, what I had in mind. These are all designed and hand drawn by me. So these are all, they are not perfect. They are not, but they are perfectly imperfect for me. I hand drew all of these and I am so excited. So you have some solid leaves. You have some little smaller leaves that you can add on. There are a couple of stems here. And then it really is a matter of the larger flower heads, the smaller flower heads, and then some foliage and little bits and pieces that you can add in to fill out your bouquet. So let's get into the Build a Bouquet stamp set. So I just want to show you how some of these things work. So these beautiful little stems down here, two things. One, they are meant to be this size, and because they are really skinny, they bend both ways. Now I have included two in this stamp set. They are also able to be laid straight, like on an acrylic block. You can pop them straight, you can curve them to the left, curve them to the right. As I said, I included two in the stamp set and they do go each way. One does veer off to the left and one does veer off to the right. However, if you turn them upside down, you're also going to be able to get a similar effect. You can also add them one on top of the other to make them longer if you need to. This is what they look like if you are going to stamp out those beautiful flower heads. Each one of the flower heads comes to a little point down the bottom, so it's nice and easy to line up with your stem that you have created. This is just really all super easy to put together. Very intuitive, and you really can't go wrong no matter what you mix and match together. These are some of the leaves that you can use. There are several, like 3 or 4 different styles. You can add in some of the foliage. You can have it coming off the bouquet, or you can have it coming off the stem itself. These are all sort of made up flowers and things. They are not meant to look like a particular flower or modeled off particular flowers. They're all just beautiful, whimsical images. So when it comes to the smaller ones, there is a smaller style of each of the larger flowers. So you are able to include some larger ones and some smaller ones all in the same bouquet, or you might choose to just have a bouquet of larger flower heads and have several of those. There may be other stamp sets that you have that you can work in with this as well and also add to. So let's create. So I have just got my little stems here, and what I tend to do, I'm just going to create a little bouquet here. This is one option, just using the Build a Bouquet stamp set and not using the vase from the Foliage Foundation stamp set. I am just going to have some of these going straight, some going off to the left, and honestly, I don't have a plan, and that's exactly what this is meant to be. Kind of the point is that you just can't go wrong no matter what you add on there. Now, I was trying to figure out which of the larger flowers I wanted to go with for this one, and then figuring out how many of the flowers I want and if I have room for some foliage or some of the fillers as well. For this one, I'm going to use one of the larger flowers, and then I'm going to stamp out 2 of the same one, but the smaller version on the left and the right hand side. I tried to have one of the stems on the right hand side just coming out slightly further than the other one. Now, at the moment, it kind of looks like I'm trying to make a flower. I want all of the stems to come out the bottom, but I truly leave that till last because then I can have them going exactly where I want them to go, and there's not too many where it sort of ends up piling on top of each other and you end up with a bit of a blur. So that's my plan here. If you want to, you can do a little bit of clever masking and just pop a little piece of paper down so that you don't get the entire image if it ends up being a little big for your bouquet. My preference is to usually not have jam-packed bouquets. I find a little more space in between can often be helpful. And again, with the 2 foliage options that I have included, they are both going the opposite direction. So no matter whether you need one curving out to the right or curving out to the left, there is both of them there, and that you can make your little bouquet. Now, don't panic that it does start to look a little busy in the center, because we have a plan for that. We have a plan. We always have a plan, and we can always make it work. And this is the part here where I'm going to add on the bottom stems. So you see what I mean? I just hold that wee piece of scrap paper there and have these stems coming out the bottom, and this looks like, that was how long they always were. So we're building our little bouquet, good to go. To color this, like to pop over some clear embossing powder, and this just means that no matter what media I choose to use, I'm all clear. It doesn't matter, I can't smudge it, and if I'm using something like watercolors or if I'm using water reactive inks, I can add water in there and it will stay within the boundaries of those little lines that the embossing creates. For this one, I decided to come in just really quickly with some Spectrum Noir alcohol markers. Just really quick, because there is minimal colouring to do inside of the foliage for this one. And then I decided to do blue flowers because you know me and blue. I can't help myself. The colouring, again, is not my forte, and that is one of the reasons why the flowers are the size they are, because you don't have to have beautiful colouring when they are this small. Nobody is going to notice it no matter what. Basically, I do lighter towards the top and darker towards the bottom, and that's very simple. The little ones are super, super quick to do, but some really quick, easy colouring, and you've got some beautiful images good to go. Now I'm going to pop a little sweet sentiment down the bottom. It doesn't matter. This could be used for so many different occasions, I think. This could be get well soon. It could be a sympathy card. It could be a birthday card. It could be just like a new home card. Lots of different options here. This one is going to say with a sympathy. I'm sticking with the blue, and I'm actually going to use a little bit of masking to colour in the blue edges. Now I'm using the stitching on the die cut to guide me as to where I should pop the blue, and I'm just using the same alcohol marker because that way everything is going to match nicely. I do the top, the bottom, and then it kind of has these little indents in the corners, and I just freehand those pieces because I just sort of swipe the marker across and we call that good. And then that way the flowers and the matting layer match each other, but you could do an actual matting layer, of course, as well. Now, I will have a few videos on all these different stamp sets that I have created. There are 6 stamp sets in my line, and I am so excited. I am also so grateful to the beautiful Barb at joggles.com, and that is where you can go and find these stamps. So if you are able to, I would be super grateful if you can support me. I am and was so nervous about accepting this offer to create my own stamps. Honestly, I held off for a really long time because I didn't really think I was able to do this, and I didn't really think I had anything to offer that was worthwhile and worthy of your time and energy and money. And I did work on it for a really long time, and I wrote lots of little scribbles in my workbook, and I did some little, doodles and what I thought, and it took me a long time, but I came up with these 6 stamp sets, which I think are great value and beyond versatile. I can just feel that, I put my best foot forward, so to speak, for these. So I hope that you will support me, and you can do that through heading over to joggles.com. I have no idea if once they're sold out, they're gone. I have no idea. I'm just really, really grateful for this opportunity. While they're there, they're there. And I would be really grateful if you could let me know what you think of these, but be kind. But no matter what, I know that I am proud of myself for doing something that is so out of my comfort zone. But nonetheless, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you over at joggles.com. See ya. Bye.